Honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a new unique statue to Dr. King is unveiled and dedicated to racial equality. Plus, it's a shotgun wedding. I connect with director Jason Moore about his newest film on Prime Video. And balancing it all, how American soccer star Alex Morgan is embracing being a mother and an athlete. Welcome to Advocate Today. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. The life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is being honored in Boston with a new statue at the Boston Commons, the city's most famous park. The monument is dedicated to racial equality and is the largest of its kind in the United States. The massive 20-foot tall by 40-foot wide bronze memorial statue called the Embrace symbolizes the hug King shared with his wife Coretta after he won the Nobel Peace Prize in 1964. One of the couple's first dates was in Boston on the Common. The Embrace is in Freedom Plaza, which also honors 69 other local civil rights heroes for their work during the King's time in Boston. The National Park Service is offering free entry to national parks on Martin Luther King Jr. Day going forward. It's one of 5 days this year where entrance fees will be waived at all 63 national parks and more than 420 places in total. Those other dates are April 22nd, August 4th, September 23rd, and November 11th, Veterans Day. The U.S. Supreme Court is set to decide how far employers must go to accommodate workers' religious beliefs. It's one of 8 new disputes the High Court granted as it filled out the remainder of its term. Gerald Groff, a former Pennsylvania mail carrier, sued the U.S. Postal Service for requiring him to work Sunday shifts. Groff, who is Christian, resigned in 2019, saying Sundays should be dedicated to worship. A U.S. District Court ruled that exempting Groff from Sunday deliveries would cause undue hardship to the USPS. We could all use a good comedy in our lives, and a new one is hitting Prime Video with an all-star cast and director. Shotgun Wedding stars Jennifer Lopez and Josh Duhamel as they gather their families for their destination wedding. But all goes south when the entire party is taken hostage. I spoke with the gay director of Pitch Perfect, Jason Moore, about helming this wild story. I wanted to begin by talking a little bit about your body of work, your filmography, which includes Pitch Perfect and Sisters. And this, Shotgun Wedding, is very much an action rom-com. I wonder if you would talk a little bit about some of the challenges, surprises that you had in shooting an action movie.
Yeah, well, the thing that attracted me to the script in the beginning is that I felt like it was a pretty rare mashup of tones of true comedy, true action, and romance, and they're very intertwined. And I was excited by that challenge. And I think we've had a couple movies long ago that were like that, but it's something that seemed like a fun challenge. And for me, I knew I had the comedy and the romance and stuff, but I wanted to learn about action too, and I wanted to also find ways to make action funny and about characters. So the challenge was the thing that excited me, which is how to find the combination of those tones, get the right kind of performances from actors. I mean, it's a wedding movie where quite a few people die, which is pretty out of character for a wedding movie. So, but that's, again, that was the challenge that I liked about it, finding that little razor sharp thin kind of thing that kept it fun but tense.
You, as I mentioned, Pitch Perfect and Sisters, these are movies that appeal to queer people across the board. And Shotgun Wedding has its own appeal with this cast, including Jennifer Lopez and the great Sonia Braga, Darcy Carden, who was just in A League of Their Own, and of course, now Golden Globe winner Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
And you lean into some camp moments. There's Jennifer with a semi-automatic, Jennifer Coolidge, with a semi-automatic, and then there's Jennifer Lopez in a shorn wedding dress looking completely badass with, killing people. And so there's a real kind of camp element to it as well. And I wonder if you talk about that.
I love that you use that word because it's the word I always had in my head, which is like, this is so camp. I love it. But I never said that word because that word freaks some people out. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or they think that if something is camp, that it can't be real. And I think that part of what I love about movies is if you keep something, and most of the movies I've made, if you keep something at the center of it grounded, then you can be pretty camp. You can put, it's Lenny Kravitz wearing pearls and no shirt. And it's, as you said, Jennifer Coolidge, even the clothes themselves, we always talked about, they're kind of big and oversized. And it was a sensibility I was always aware of. Even things like the way she comes out of the ground with a shotgun. You know,
Oh,
there's,
so good.
I mean, there are a little bit like action-y camp moments or action tropes, but I love that you use that, because that was always what I was like, if I can do this grounded thing, then I can do this crazy, weird, campy thing. And that was always the goal.
Well, that's the thing, right? Camp works because of its seriousness.
Very often, yes. Or the situation is so bizarre, but the person is behaving in an honest way.
Mhm.
And that yeah, it's funny. Camp is one of those things that's kind of tricky to define, but like what is it? You know it when you see it sometimes.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that. And I wonder if you would just speak to working with the likes of Jennifer Lopez and Josh and Cheech Marin. And I mean, Sonia Braga, Kiss of the Spider Woman. I would just.
Right. I mean, that was a movie I'd always loved from as a kid, and read the book and knew so much about her. And then she did a run on Sex and the City, where she
played a
lesbian. Lesbian, yeah. But she always does serious roles. And so I was like, I don't know, I feel like she can be funny. And I was like looking at interviews, and then I had a phone call with her, and she's hilarious. She's like, I never get asked to do comedy. I have to cry all the time. She's like, I want to come have fun and be funny. And she is the life of the party. She's the person who goes around and checks in with everybody and tells stories, and is kind of a mother figure too. That was one of my like, holy, you know what? I can't believe I get to work because it was also such a joy. The other, I mean, there are so many great people in the movie, and you know, we were shooting during COVID, so I kind of also chose very carefully and called friends, and I was like, what's this person like on set? Because I knew that we were sort of creating this family unit that was in a bubble. People couldn't have their spouses there, and we were going to kind of all rely on each other. So it did end up having this kind of really fun theater camp element to it, which meant that everyone really got to trust each other. They all lived together, and it was to the person like one of the most lovely, talented groups of people that I've ever worked with. And of course, that also very much trickles down from Jennifer Lopez, because she is so intelligent, so kind, so generous, so precise, so driven. And she's an actor, singer, dancer, physical comedian. So like the bar was set really high. And I think people knew, and with Jennifer Coolidge and her comedy, the bar was set high. So everyone came like, I don't think I exactly said this, but I did imply, if you're not doing something interesting or funny, you're not going to make the cut. So people knew that they needed to be on their stuff. Right. And we got a lot of great actors who are giving their best and bouncing each other off. It's really fun as a director, and it makes the movie better.
Thank you to Jason for that conversation. For my full interview with him and the rest of the cast, visit the Advocate channel on YouTube. Shotgun Wedding is available to stream on Prime Video January 27th. Being a professional athlete is one thing, but being a mother is extraordinary. American soccer star Alex Morgan is a mother to a 2-year-old while also being one of the faces of soccer in the United States. As the U.S. women's national team is in New Zealand training for the upcoming World Cup, she's sharing how she balances all of it.
Yeah, I think the adjustment was pretty difficult, but it was also so worth it. And I feel like I'm at a place now where I'm able to kind of balance the two. My daughter travels with me a lot, and it's kind of making sure that I'm prioritizing both my health, my body, football, but also then my daughter and my family. And I think I've been able to do a pretty good job at it, but it's not without the support of my husband, my family, U.S. Soccer, and my teammates as well. So it's always kind of figuring out that fine line of balancing it all, and knowing that, you know, you need to make sure you get enough time for yourself as well, because sometimes you just end up forgetting about that.
That's all the time we have for this Advocate today. Advocating for all is our mission. Head to advocatechannel.com or the Advocate channel wherever you stream for more content and coverage. I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist. I'll see you next time.